Iowa State takes credit for a breakdown.
Keene Project Solutions, a modern engineering and construction firm, embracing technology, establishing industry-leading systems and processes, and delivering reliable results to our customers. At Keene, we are passionate about inspiring our team and our customers to achieve great things, offering the highest quality services in commercial construction to deliver turnkey projects. Our core beliefs drive us forward. Protect people, build relationships, drive innovation, and focus on end goals, bringing our customers' desired results to life. See how Keene can work for you at thinkdifferent.thinkkeene.com.
We know that carrying your groceries out to your car seems a bit old school. That saying hello and asking about your day feels like a thing of the past. Being best at fresh, it's not just a fad. Serving high-quality meat at affordable prices? Talk about a throwback. But at Fairway, that's kind of our thing. Because some things never go out of style. Friendly at Fairway. It's more than just a name.
%10 of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Carl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Carl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Carl way.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Cyclone Fanatic post-game show presented by Channel Seed. Iowa State comes out on top in the Cyhawk game. I'm your host, Leah Nelson. Joining me, as always, Chris Williams in the Northwest Bank Studios. I'm going to thank a couple of our sponsors before we get into the fun. Starting off with Fairway Meat and Grocery. I'm just assuming that there was a lot of good Fairway stuff out at the tailgating lots this morning. And then our friends over at Keene Project Solutions. Cyclone fans, if you're looking for a career that challenges and inspires you, Keene Project Solutions is growing and hiring engineers, project managers for our Ankeny and Kansas City offices. Make sure you join the team that values your dedication, fuels your career growth, and turns your expertise into impactful solutions. Make sure you visit thinkdifferent.thinkkeene.com to apply today. Seriously, Chris, I feel like years have been taken off my life after watching a Cyhawk game, but it's not a Cyhawk game if that doesn't happen.
It's exactly what we love and hate about this football game,
right,
about this rivalry. First of all, really good job by Iowa State to get sucked out of your game. And I'm watching them carry the trophy off right now, which is always cool. You get sucked out of your game, I thought Iowa State should have put the game away early. Thought they could have. I thought they had that opportunity. You settle for 2 field goals early. Keeps Iowa, they're kind of hanging around. You get Iowa's quarterback, get him with a pick, and then you let him come back and have that big drive to end the second quarter. Iowa has almost 9-minute drive in the third quarter. It really felt like this thing had flipped. I don't think many people here thought Iowa State was going to win the football game at that point. I didn't, because it just felt like so many of these games that I've seen and I've covered Iowa a long time too, since I started doing radio. So I've watched this team intensely for a long time, and this is what they do, and this is generally how they win these games. And Iowa State, I really surprised by the fact that Iowa State didn't use its tight ends as much, and there's a lot of things, but you make a lot of mistakes. You drop I think 3 or 4 passes. You have the big issue on the punt return, which again can be debated, but it happened. You muffed the punt. You shouldn't have. Just get out of the way. That doesn't happen. And your passing game is really limited throughout the day, but you still are able to gut it out and beat I think a pretty good Iowa team like that. Their quarterback was a lot better that second half on that. He was running around and that gives Iowa State trouble. So I give Iowa State a lot of credit here. It was not a perfect game, but a lot of times that's because So yeah, you're an athlete. Like, it's not always just what your team is doing. Other teams are doing it too. I thought that Bill Parker really called a great game against Rocco Beck, who I think is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Rocco didn't play bad today. I didn't think he got a lot of help from his wide receivers. Running game deteriorated as the game went on for Iowa State. And listen, like, again, to win this 16-13, if you just take your hat off to them, because I didn't think they were. This thing was really trending in a way that wasn't great. And I give credit to Matt Campbell in hindsight to just, instead of trying to push it at the end, they kind of said, we're going to trust our kicker. They called that play to Rocco and they said, get in the middle of the field, give him in a good spot. And
Which, how could you not trust
I'm not
in that
saying
situation?
But it's still a 54-yard kick.
Exactly.
In a rivalry game. Like, he's proven that he's trustworthy.
So
It's not a slight at him. It's just like, it wasn't a chip shot is my point. That was a 54-yard.
He's got it. He's got it in the bag.
That's a really difficult thing to do. So, especially against a really good Iowa special teams that blocks kicks and they do all those things. So, listen, I think, I don't know about you. I feel like I'm not saying Iowa State's lucky to get out of here with a win, because they earned it. The way it started and the way that game leveled out, the fact that Iowa State still found a way to come away with a win and be 3-0 is really impressive. And it shows too that this team can win in different ways. Mm-hmm. And we thought they were a pretty versatile football team. I was surprised by a lot. I don't think I've ever researched a game more than I did this one. I don't think I've ever talked about a game more in my career with all we did at Iowa Everywhere and Cyclone Fanatic this week. And it just makes me feel like, so wrong about like 90% of it. Like, how the only thing I was right about is I knew Iowa would have one of those soul-sucking drives.
Yep.
We've all seen it. We've all seen it. All you Cyclone fans who are watching have been, and it's such a helpless spot where they just rattle off like 4 yards per carry and they feel like there's nothing you can do, but the defense got enough stands. And I loved, I can't wait to go back and watch that last defensive drive again, because I think I just admire John Haycock so much as a human. I love him. He means a lot to me, and I think he's really smart. Like that, like they did something there, and again, it was too chaotic. I want to go watch, but they brought it, and just a really a gritty win. But I feel like if you're an Iowa fan, though, they're going to feel like they gave the game away. Mm-hmm. In a lot of different spots. But that's generally how these Cyhawk games kind of go. It's like, who makes fewer mistakes? Iowa State made more mistakes today.
Yeah.
Which is what was surprising. And, kind of got fortunate, too, with that tip pass, and Burkle caught it.
Burkle.
Right? Like, so Iowa State caught a break there.
Right. We needed that. We needed that bad.
That was a huge break that went Iowa State's direction. But, that's just kind of where I land on the whole thing. I'm like, it was super ugly, but there's nothing ugly about winning a rivalry game. But at the same time, impressive that you can find a way to be on the winning side of it when things don't go the way you necessarily wanted them to. I can't wait to talk to Taylor Mauser after this game and pick his brain, because they had some really good calls. Iowa State's wide receivers were not good today across the board. You could really tell the drop off. I thought Xavier Townsend, I don't like singling guys out, but listen, he was back there on that kickoff and on the punts, and he really had a tough day. I think he's got a bright future, but he had a tough day. They really missed Aiden Flora out there. I thought that was a massive, massive loss for Iowa State to not have him. The amount of hidden yardage that they lost out on in the return game today, it kind of felt like Iowa State of like 2 years ago, where you're holding your breath on every special teams play. But again, you come out and you have a clutch kicker, and I give Matt Campbell a lot of credit. This is why he's a better coach than most of us, because most of us were going, why are you settling for a 54-yard field goal here? And he trusted his guy. He's watched Kyle make that kick 100 times, and Kyle made it last year. We saw him make it on the road last year, the exact same thing. So 3-0, man. Like, it's hard to complain about that. But that was not a fun football game. So many
I was
reviews.
like, I kind of liked it. No, it was long. It was stretched out. It felt like forever. And we even talked about that after we stopped recording for halftime. Reviews take forever.
Incredible.
They did have a time limit.
That game, the amount of like just dumb reviews. Like I like it when they review the big plays. Like that's what we have it for. But that game just strung on and on and on. And like it was just, I mean, there's going to be 60,000 people leaving here really happy because their team won. But that was not a aesthetically pleasing football game. See you, Chad. But it's Cyhawk, you know.
Right. You're going to have that. I feel like we expected it.
What do we do in this state? We kick field goals and we punt. That's what they do on the eastern side. And again, like I was really like annoyed because I know that they were thinking at halftime too. Iowa State had an opportunity to be up at least 13 in the first half.
Yes.
And I thought they let Iowa off the hook with a couple of penalties, and then they didn't punch it in the end zone. It was, 1st and 10 on the 12-yard line. Iowa State I thought they lost their aggressiveness to an extent on both sides of the football, and they got sucked into that Iowa thing. But the defense was, offense. Burkle's the tip, but they worked their way down the field. Special teams does its job. You bring the defense out. They dialed up some weird stuff, and you take care of business. So 3-0. Let's go. I know. I want to give a shout out to my friends, the Natuzels, the Natuzel boys over at Natuzel Financial Services. Cheers to you guys. They're gonna be very happy.
They're gonna be pumped.
They're gonna be very happy with today. They're big Cyclone fans, and remember them for all of your financial planning. Really good folks over at Raymond James Natuzel Financial Services. Also, my buddies over at Central States Roofing as well. They are fired up too. They are nuts. These dudes. That's why I love our sponsors. They're crazy. They're crazy Iowa State fans. These guys. These Central States Roofing dudes are nuts, like in the best way. But shout out to them. They're a great locally owned company. They have a lot in common with what we've done at Cyclone Fanatic and building it up and staying local and working with local people. So csrroofing.com. You can check them out. All right, Leo, where else do you want to go with this? I feel like I just talked like
that's what people want to hear. I kind of want to, not to take away from the Cyhawk game, but obviously they've got another game next weekend. But it's a little less, in my opinion, as exciting as this one.
No doubt.
So how do you keep the momentum going?
Well, I kind of glad it's on the road in a weird way, because I feel like this team maybe that, I don't know, they don't really scare me that much when they go on the road.
Me either.
Like that Ohio game, but that whole thing was so weird. Like Rocco was just getting worked in as the quarterback, and like I don't think this is a lot like that. To be honest, buddy, I haven't even thought about that game because I was about ready to puke.
Right. I usually don't get too nervous because my confidence is so high in Iowa State, but I don't know.
You are a very confident human.
I think I'm spending a lot of time with you in these shows, and
it changes you. Can I highlight a couple guys that I thought were really good today?
Yes, I'd love that.
Marcus Neal, 31 on defense, is I'm not going to say he's the most valuable defensive player because that would be a disservice to Big Dominic Orange, Big Citrus in the middle. That's my guy. But this Marcus Neal is playing at an all-conference level, 31 out there. He is elite at what he does. We saw him come on at the end of last year. He had an amazing bowl game against Miami in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Watch 31 out there when you go back and watch this, because this is what I love about our audience. They go back and watch the tape, and they're all nuts about it. Watch 31. He's playing incredible football. The other guy I thought today, and I always expect great things from him, but I think Caleb Bacon had his best game since he has come back from his injury. He's been really good. He hasn't been bad once, but this was a big game for him. Growing up as an in-state kid, really happy for him on the defensive side. And we got to give a shout out to McDonough, 58 on the D line, 2 sacks recorded for him today. 2 sacks, which when's the last time Iowa State had a player have more than 1 sack in a game? That's been probably Will McDonald, honestly. You're going back a ways for that. But no, I thought, the refreshing thing when you watch this game, and this is where I say, like, to find a way to do it against Iowa, is it used to be we would watch these games where, like, Mark Weissman and, like, how old were you in 2012?
I was 12.
Okay. When you were like 10, 11, 12 years old, like these Iowa teams would do this, and they'd have these 9-minute drives, and you just couldn't stop them like that, because Iowa State didn't have the athletes to physically do it. They do now. And I thought, especially in the first half, Iowa State's offensive line was dominant. I thought they were dominant in the first quarter, leveled off a little bit in the second quarter. listen though, like there's part of this where it gets really frustrating. I can't tell you how many text messages were flying back and forth. Why are they throwing it down the field with the tight ends? And I get it, but they're also kind of playing chess here. And I think what was probably going through Matt Campbell and Taylor Mauser's mind was, listen, we don't know how many more opportunities we're going to get. Like if we punt the ball away or if we, like when you play for that 54-yard field goal, I'm guessing the percentage probably told them you're better off kicking this field goal than you are trying to push your luck here. And then, right, because you just don't know how many more possessions you're going to get. So, like, they didn't go away from the run, which is probably smart, all things considered. What did you average on the run today? Let me find that. Let's see what they averaged on the ground. It wasn't great. It got worse as the day went on. Yards per rush, 3.5. Listen, I'll take it. If you told me before the game, Chris, the Cyclones will average 3.5 yards per carry on the ground, I would have taken that, which sounds nuts because it's not very good. But against this defensive front and what we've seen from Iowa State's running game, I will absolutely take it. And I also think the other thing that will be to really caution fans on is I want to go back and watch this because I love watching the tape. You learn way. Rocco Beck, 18 of 27, 134 yards and a touchdown. He played a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
Missed a couple. He had a lot of drops. Did not get help. And I cannot wait to talk to Taylor Mauser. They're not stupid. Like, right? I'm yelling at throw it to the tight ends. There's a reason. Like, so Iowa was doing something. They were bracketing. They were doing something to take that away. And so Iowa State had to go to its fairly inexperienced wide receiver corps, and they let them down today. They didn't play well. They dropped a lot of passes. I thought Rocco threw some really good balls, but that's passes that Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins make. Right. So now what's great, though, Leah, is you get to keep working with that. I'm not saying they all suck. They aren't busts. They aren't duds. But these are guys that haven't played a lot. And now you can take that and you can teach them. And I'm guessing they're all going to be a lot better. You want to know another hidden gem from this game is a young man by the name of Chase Sowell. Okay, he is the wide receiver number 0. 2 catches, 17 yards. Well, Chris, that's not a very good box score. Hadn't had a catch before he came into today. That was Iowa State's prized possession in the transfer market. And it takes wide receivers games, sometimes a month, to feel it. Townsend is not there yet. He's checking his play card. He has no idea what's going on. He'll be fine, but he's not there yet. To see Sowell out there and I thought it was notable that in the clutch, when Iowa State needed yards and the game was on the line, they were going with the transfer wide receivers, which they hadn't done that. Like it had been Overby and Edskelson, and those guys were still out there. They were still rotating, but they were leaning on those transfers a lot more, I thought, than they have, definitely in the first game, and last week doesn't really matter. But that surprised me, but that's also a positive because I think Sowell, 0 out there. I know that fans are like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? He's got the potential to be like the game-breaking guy Iowa State needs. You just got to give him some time. The fact that he caught 2 passes in this game is really encouraging.
It's exciting going into the future to see what Iowa State's got in these next couple of games. And you've said this before. It's one of Iowa State's deepest teams. I think it's Campbell's deepest team. There you have it. I don't think you don't have a running back that's Breece Hall. Okay. Right. I don't think you don't have a wide receiver who's Hakeem Butler, or you don't have let's go to the box real quick. Let's see what it tells us. Stats don't lie. Not a great example on the offensive side today. I mean, I was looking for the number of guys who caught passes, and there were 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. But you have like Townsend 1 for 6, Overby 1 for 9. It doesn't list drops on here. I would love to see where all of those came from. And a couple of them were fluky too. Like the one Overby in the fourth quarter, he was like diving and the guy's knee hit the ball out. Like that stuff, like cut him some slack. Yeah. Like that's the old Kirk Ferentz line. That's football. Stuff like that happens and you just got to, but they are a deeper team, and I specifically up front. And again, like they don't have a Will McDonald on the D. They don't have that guy on the edge. But what I did see, and what I love it, and that's where Iowa State's defense is just misunderstood by most of the country. They go, they drop 8. Well, they didn't for a lot of the game today. They didn't. Caleb Bacon was lined up like Von Miller in the NFL. They had a 4-man front for the majority
of that football game today. I would say if we go back and watch it. So it's the thing that I like the most about this particular team, and this is what my closing thoughts will be, as we go in, is they're very versatile. Like, I'll put it in your world. Like, you want to be a softball team that can win a 1-0 game, and you also want to be able to win the 8-9, 9-8 game. Like, right? Like, you want to be up, like, in this Iowa State team, I think can do both. And that's like last year's team couldn't. They were so dinged up on defense. When you won a game, you had to score 35 points, is at least what it felt like. So what you had today is, I don't think the offense played that bad. I thought Iowa was really good. Like, sometimes you just have to give credit to your opponent. Iowa State had key penalties. They had a bad turnover. You had some drops. And you still won against a team that a lot of people in this press box picked to go to the college football playoff this year, right or wrong. But they know the Hawkeyes better than I do. So take your hat off and cheers and enjoy the win. It was ugly as hell, but enjoy the win.
Yeah. How are you going to enjoy the win? Don't you have a million other things you got to do?
I'm going to work.
Exactly.
This is when it's fun.
Yeah, now you're in a good mood.
Yeah, well, it's a hell of a lot better to go to work like this. Yeah. And listen, like, we'll do the this is everything's in front of Iowa State right now. Right? And like, even if you lose this game, it still is, because it's really the Big 12, like the way the playoffs set up, and like that's really what matters. But you put yourself in a spot to have a really special football team. You're going to be in the top 15. Hopefully you get a win next week. And then you get a bye week, which is going to be much needed for this team that's really in midseason form on September 6th. And like, this is like, if you're going to get excited about being a Cyclone football fan, like, this is it, because you're great win for the Big 12 today to beat a Big 10 team like this. And listen, guys, this is Jeremiah Cooper. John, thank you. Watching on YouTube. Jeremiah had a great game. The defense, too, I want to give Iowa some credit and give Iowa State's defense a little more credit than we all probably were in that third quarter. Iowa was running a significantly different scheme. When they got down, when Gronowski, I'll give Tim Lester some credit here, and Iowa fans aren't going to do this, but I will. When Gronowski threw that pick and it gets to 13-3, they could have absolutely sat on the football, said, screw it, we're going to take it to halftime. And they didn't. They didn't lose confidence in their quarterback. They let him roll out a little bit. And then so early in the game, Iowa was doing the most boring ass Iowa stuff ever. Running on first, running on second. Now we're going to try and throw it on third. And that's easy. I can coordinate against that defensively. They started letting 11 out there rolling out, and he played better. He played better football. So, like, Iowa State had to adjust to that. And it took them a while. And they bent, but they didn't really ever break in the entire game. And I still I think Gronowski played pretty well. They have no weapons on the outside, right? Like, it's easy if you're defending that, because I can put Cooper on one guy. I can put Williams on another. I'm singling up on the corner. And now I can get exotic with my blitzes and all that stuff. And you guys have watched Iowa State enough, and Haycock specifically. It takes them a while to get aggressive. It always has been that way. It probably always will. But they dialed it up at the end, and that group was locked in. And hopefully everybody can go out and safely enjoy a great win.
Safely. That's a good key.
Hey, we're going to have some store sales, Cyclone Fanatic shop. I know that I think it's 10% off after a win. So you can go and load up on some gear. Everybody likes to do that after a win. You spend a ton of money after your team wins games. I know I do. So go and do that and spend it with us. And, yeah, enjoy it, everybody. Team's 3-0. We've been through, a lot of these games where they don't go your way. And right now, what has Iowa State won? 3 of 4 in this series? I think they've won 3 of the last 4 Cyhawk games now. First win at home since 2011 when you were 11.
Yep.
And that was the highest scoring Cyhawk game ever. And this one was the lowest scoring. We've seen lower, but this was a grind of a football game.
This was good. And I love that I'm already getting so many texts from Iowa fans, including my brother, who's already talking.
Your brother's a Hawk?
Yeah, he went to
Why
Iowa.
Is he talking crap if his team just lost?
He said, and I quote, sad ISU couldn't beat an unranked team by more than 3. I feel like that's just bashing himself, like his whatever.
That's like the overrated chant. It's my least favorite.
Exactly.
I don't understand it. Like you're like, no, you should be like, that's the best team in the world, and we just beat them.
Oh, brothers.
All right, let me see. I'm gonna just look box score one more time.
Okay.
I want to make sure nothing else stands out to me. I thought it was a really good. Sama, look at this stat. Here's a stat for you. Hansen 11 carries, 46 yards. Sama 12 carries, 47 yards. Almost identical stat lines by the boys on the ground today. Sama's getting better, by the way.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, he's improving. I don't know what's going on there, but buy some stock in that guy. I think in the second half of the season, he was my buy low guy in the offseason, and I haven't changed my mind. I think he's about ready to pop and have a big game. Went through the defense for the most part. I didn't see Brazina in the second half. Might be talking about an injury there. We'll see. And then listen, Leah, I always give a shout out to the big men. I thought the offensive line deserved some flowers for a grinded out game against a really good defensive front seven for the Hawks. And then Big Citrus, man. We start in every show with Big Citrus.
I love that. Big Citrus.
What do you do in softball? Is it like the catcher? Like the tough person that deserves the flower because they're just getting beat up? Big Citrus.
1,000%.
Yeah. I'm a big Citrus guy. All right. That's all I got for you.
Same. Get in that press conference. Ask those good questions.
Tough questions are coming.
I'm excited. But shout out you. Thanks for joining me
buddy.
in the
Appreciate
Northwest Bank Studios. I appreciate you. Shout out all of our sponsors. And you produced today. So
I did.
Way to go. I'm impressed.
All right. Leah Nelson, I'm Chris Williams. Thanks for hanging out with us. Later.